Well, I was recording a video, which I'm uploading now, but it cut out on me, so I was talking about getting a clarinet, and it cut out on me. I ran out of space on my phone, so yeah, I don't know. Weird that. Weird. That doesn't happen very often. So, yeah. If you don't know who I am, well, I'm God. And chances are you still don't know who I am because you don't believe I'm God. So, yeah. That's all my channel is about. That's all I talk about. Is I talk about I'm God and that the world will suffer immensely because it denies me. Those who deny me will be destroyed. That's, if you deny God, you will be destroyed. That's being explained, okay? And my channel, I've made lots of videos explaining that. Unfortunately, that's the situation for me. I have no friends. I don't talk to anybody, really. I don't have anybody that I socialize with or spend any time with. So I'm surrounded by ghosts. And the world denies me, so the world will suffer. The world is crazy. Okay? So, I make these videos because, well, I'm God, and, I have to make, I have to tell people who I am, I have to tell people the situation, and it's my video diary, isn't it? It's my video diary, it's what I want to say, it's what I'm thinking, so, I'm recording this video, I don't even know what I want to talk about. What do I want to talk about? What do I want to talk about? I don't know. I'm unhappy. I'm lonely. I'm bored. I want to say something. I want to speak. That's the thing. The world doesn't like me speaking. The world wants to silence me. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because, I was talking about the article that I was reading this morning about the Bishop of London, she's a female bishop. Well, and saying that in the Bible, well, it says that women should be silent in church, right? They shouldn't be leading the church. Well, that's the interesting thing, because my dead mum, she's my flesh mum, biological mum, she's dead. Her name was Fee, and I'm the male that came out of her vagina. Okay? You understand you know what I'm saying? So, female. Well, I'm God. See, demons would like to silence me. Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, females have to be silent in the church. Well, I'm God. You ain't gonna do that to me. I'm a male. And I'm not talking about junk mail or, royal mail that comes through the letterbox, okay? I'm not a letter. I'm not an envelope, okay? I'm not a... Yeah, I'm not that. Demons want to play the stupid game, though. And that's what demons do. Yeah. I mean, look at the French language, right? So, how do you say mother in French? You say mère, right? Mère. And dad is père. Père. What an interesting word, père. Yeah. What's a pear? Yeah. So, what am I making a video for? I don't know. Let me have a look at the news. See if there's anything I want to talk about in particular. So, dailymail.com, that's the usual one I go to. British couple being held in custody in Iran as they motorbike across the world are in distressing situation, desperate families say. What is with people? You know, how many of these people they want to go from country to country. They want to cycle through countries. They want to jog through countries. They want to motorbike through countries, and they think that nothing bad will happen to them. I mean, you know what I mean? How many stories have there been of people that's ended in a complete disaster? I mean, wasn't there a video of a man who was with his girlfriend or wife, and what happened was, I don't know what country it was. Was it in like Morocco or something? I think it was Morocco or something. I don't know, but his wife, she got RAPED'd, right, by the locals, some local guys who were following them, and and there's been loads of stories of people getting murdered or taken hostage or whatever, and people still do it. Like, they just think, oh yeah, I mean, how weird, huh? People never seem to learn, do they? And that's the thing, I'm God, and look at the world, it doesn't learn. It doesn't matter how, do you know what I mean? 50,000 people could die in one day. Does that make people think, do you know what I mean? Like, if the economy of the United States of America just, imagine if the economy totally imploded and, people were starving and people were, it happened in the United Kingdom, the country that I live in, what happens to, if people are in, serious poverty and there's a war happening, and, how do people respond to that? How are people going to respond to that? Does that bring people closer to God? Does that bring people closer to me? Or, what percentage of people learn absolutely nothing? You know what I mean? Like, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people could die, and people still don't learn anything. They still don't learn that God is angry, and God is looking for justice, and God wants people to have a relationship with him. But people don't want to have a relationship with God. They want to believe they are God. I mean, how can you have a relationship with someone you're pretending to be? It doesn't work. You see? If you're pretending to be someone that you're not, how are you supposed to have a relationship with them? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that's the problem with the world. That was the problem with Adam and Eve, right? They were trying to be God. How are you going to have a relationship with God if you're trying to pretend to be him? And if you're trying, that's the thing, people who are trying to, if someone steals your identity, well, usually you're not going to look at them very favorably, all right? You're not going to think, oh wow, what a great person you are. Thanks for stealing my identity. You can't. That's the problem. That's always been the problem. That's what man and woman do. Man and woman want to do that to God. That's why Jesus said, that's why I said, first you must deny yourself. Yeah, because man, that's what he does. He wants to steal God's identity. That's what man and woman do. Looking at pictures of Kerry Katona. I mean, who the hell is she? I know her from when I was a kid, and she used to be in the Iceland adverts. You know, she used to do all the adverts for Iceland. And like, it's like, I don't want to see pictures of her. Who the hell does? What kind of weirdo wants to? You know what I mean? It's the same with Jordan, Katie Price, right? Like, who cares? I don't. Woman in her 40s dies from gunshot wounds after Valentine's night pub attack. Oh. Well. Yeah, the news is so boring. The news is so crap and boring. Oh yeah, Kanye West and Bianca Sensory. Apparently they're getting divorced. Well, yeah, who knows? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, he's such a clown. He is such a clown. I mean, his music is shit. I mean, I'll admit some of his tunes are kind of some of his tunes are kind of catchy, actually. You know, the sort of, but really, you know, I'm not a fan. You know, I think he sounds, I don't like his style, really. I think he's annoying. I think he's crazy. He is crazy. He's evil as fuck. I mean, he's doing some serious witchcraft. Okay, I know how bad it is. People don't have any, you know, people have a very, you know, people who think that he's involved in witchcraft, they have a very surface level understanding. You know, I know very deeply of what kind of witchcraft he's doing because I've studied him. I'm God, that's the thing. I know it better than anybody else. Anyways, I mean, this is the thing. I have a washing machine. It's a candy, it's a candy washing machine, and the model of it is Bianca. That's the funny thing, right? So that's what I have, and that's the thing. I live in the southwest of England, yeah. So me and Kanye West, that's what we have in common. We both have a candy washing machine that's called Bianca. Except, well, he's getting divorced now, isn't he? He's divorced from his Bianca. Well, that's what, like, apparently they're getting divorced. But anyways, I mean, what a clown. What a clown. I mean, that's the thing, you know how he's been accused of saying all kinds of things that people are very unhappy about. You should probably be aware of what he's been saying about Jews, as an example, right? Well, you see, there was a time when I was in a similar situation, and you see, all he's doing is he's copying me. He's obsessed with my energy. He's a witch. I was very hated for the things that I said and that was when I used to live in Brighton. Okay. What was I thinking? Oh. Anyways, Kanye West is yeah. I mean, you know, when they used to go to those church services and they'd all be in like white and black and whatever, right? You know, like pretending like they love God, and you know what I mean? Like if you do you know what I mean? Like look at him. So he's walking around parading Bianca Sensory totally naked at the Grammys. Well, I was thinking my name's Grammy. Yeah. Candy washing machine, Bianca. Yeah. I mean, that was that video of them on a boat in Venice, and she was washing his candy for him, right? On the boat. and they got the pictures of him. They got the pictures of the both of them doing it. Yeah, you remember that? Candy washing machine, Bianca. So that's the thing, you know. So he wants to, you know, say that he loves God, you know, and he has his songs, you know, Jesus Walks, and you know, and then he wants to parade his naked wife around. I mean, if that, you know, he's totally crazy. He's totally insane. And he's got his titanium teeth. He doesn't. Well, he doesn't. He took all his teeth out, and he got a titanium thing. He replaced his teeth with titanium. It's because he's doing witchcraft. He is a witch. He wants to be God. He's a false idol. Okay? He is a false idol that people worship. He's very evil. Alright, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, oh that's the other thing as well. Kim Kardashian, she's getting married to guy number 4. Well, you know, well, that's the thing, she's a whore, right? So, you know, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So she wants to have 4, you know, the 4 horsemen. Well, that's the thing, they ride the horses, don't they? Yeah? So she's going to have her 4th husband. Yeah, well, I think the 4th horseman, he's called Death. He's, you know, the rider of the 4th horse is Death. And in tarot, well, that's the thing, I'm connected with Death. Because my zodiac sign is Scorpio. Anyways, moving on. So Britain's most powerful gangs, from Pakistani heroin traffickers in Birmingham to London's Turkish mafia, as map reveals battle with Albanians for control of UK's drug trade. Yeah. You see, that's the thing, right? They're all called migrants. And that's the thing, my name is Grant. Yeah? Migrant. Yeah. Yeah. Denise is so boring. It's so boring. You know what really pisses me off though? You know, all these people who talk about the Holocaust. They talk about the, you know, what really annoys me about that? I don't want to listen to them. You know why I don't want to listen to them? Because if that's the thing, if people do not allow a fair debate, about whether something happened or not, then I'm not interested in hearing anything about it. You know, I don't want to hear a one-sided story. I'm not interested. You know, if I can hear the people argue, so if they're going to be people on one side of the debate and then other people, and they're going to argue, and then you see, you know, you can hear both people talk about what happened. You know, you can hear both sides of the story. Then I would like to listen to that, but I don't want to listen to someone whose story is one-sided. You know, I don't accept that. And the fact is, you know, and I've talked about this before. You know, there are all these people in my country and in, you know, in America and in the European nation, the white people, right? You know, they all want to talk about freedom of speech. They all want to talk about, they don't want to be censored. They don't want to have their speech taken away and blah, 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 blah. And I've said, well, you know, if you've already done it to other people, you've already shut down you've already said to people that they can't, you want to control what people say. And then they want to make excuses like, yeah, but we have to do that because blah, 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 because someone's feelings might get hurt or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, look, then you're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite, and that's all there is to it. You know? Like, why are you afraid of someone arguing against what you believe? Why are you shutting down their debate before they've even, you know, why can't you at least hear what they've got to say? Do you know what I mean? How are you going to change how someone thinks unless you hear what they have to say they think first, right? So you want them to tell you want that person, if you want to change someone's mind, you're going to say to that person, okay, so what is it that you believe? Okay, and then you hear what they say they believe, and then you tell them how you either agree with them or you tell them how you don't agree with them and why you don't agree with them, and try to educate them. You try to tell them what you know and how you understand things. But if you're going to just say that people can't talk about something, then how are you ever going to change their minds about that? You can't. You can't. Can you? So, you know, I do not support anybody taking away someone else's right to say what it is that they want to say. You know, if someone believes that what they're trying to say is the truth, but they've been prevented from saying that, then, obviously there are a lot of opinions that I don't agree with. But, you know, if you shut down debate, then there is no debate, you know, and then people become, people can't, you cannot, how can people, either people believe what they're told to believe or they don't. That's the thing. You're either going to, people are going to say, yeah, you have to believe this because we tell you you have to believe this. Or if you believe something else, well, we don't like you. And that's basically as far as the conversation goes. It's a very bad thing. It's a very bad thing. I mean, you think about the Old Testament and the New Testament, God telling people the truth, Jesus telling people the truth, and explaining to people in various ways. But, the fact is that, if God just says, hey, I'm God, and that's it. You either believe me or you die. There was, and there were no other explanations. There were no, there was nothing else done. God literally just said, hey, I'm God. You either believe me or you will be destroyed. And left it at that. People would feel unhappy about that, is that, do you know what I mean? People need explanations. People need information. People need examples. People need to, people need information and things to learn from. But people want to shut down debates. So how is anyone ever supposed to know the truth about something? Even if you are telling people the truth and you're shutting down debate, that's the thing, right? Let's say that there were, let's say that the people who say that they went through the Holocaust, let's say they were telling the truth, and that the bad people who did the bad thing, they've been silenced, so they can't tell you lies. Well, how's anyone really supposed to know whether, do you know what I mean? How are they supposed to know who's telling the truth then? Even if they are being told the truth, how are they supposed to determine whether the lie, because that's the thing. You want to hear the lies so you know that they're lies. Yeah, you want to hear both sides of the story so you can know. But how can you know if you only get to hear one side of a story? I mean, think about it. Man and woman, they've lived in this world, right? And they can go one way or another. You either choose to love God, right? You deny yourself. You put God first. You love God, or you don't. You do the other thing. You go the other way. You worship false idols. You do witchcraft. You worship evil. You are evil. You're either one way or the other. And man and woman, well, they've been given the opportunity to figure out which way they're going to go. I'm sick and tired of hearing, there's an article here, it says here, the title is, I survived Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen, but my mum died 12 days after liberation. Holocaust survivor 95 reveals the horror of the Nazi death camps and how she found love with one of her rescuers. Well, yeah, the funny thing is, there was actually a guy, there was a man and woman who actually became famous. They were on TV. I can't remember who they were, but it was on YouTube. It's still on there, probably. And they actually invented a story about falling in love with one another. So I think it was like, they told a story of, I think it was a woman who was in a concentration camp, and a man was coming past, and he would feed her apples and stuff like that. He was giving her food through the fence and whatever, and then they fell in love and they got together and blah blah blah, and they went on TV to talk about it, and they wrote a book, and the book sold millions and millions and millions of copies, and they made loads of money from it. And it turned out actually it was all a lie. Because they did it because they wanted money. They did it because they wanted to be famous. They wanted money. They didn't have any problems with lying. That's the thing. You think how many people lie, because they want to be famous, because they want money. And how many people would accuse me, when I say I'm God? They are accusing me of that. They're accusing me of wanting to be known. They want me. They think that. They probably think that's probably what I'm trying to do. But that's the thing. If God is here, right? Let's say God has come down to this world and he wants to make a YouTube account telling everybody that he's God, then how else is if that's how people react to him, that's how people react to him. That's how people are treating me. I'm God. And people think that all I want is attention. People accuse me of that. Yeah, they do. I'm sure they do. End of the day, I will prove everybody wrong. People either believe me or they don't. So apparently Jay-Z says Jay-Z teen RAPE, Jay-Z teen rap case with Diddy dismissed by accuser's attorney as isn't it weird how the word rape is in the word rapper? Yeah. Rapper issues emotional statement. blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before someone else comes along and accuses him with more and more accusers will come out. They'll come out. I'm sure of that. Isn't that how it always goes? Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh. Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, the news is really boring. It really is. I saw this article this morning. It was the top article, actually. Caribbean woman staying in the UK illegally claims she can't be deported to Grenada as her Latvian husband won't be able to cope with the spicy food. I mean, what? Her Latvian forklift truck driver husband. Flipping heck. Forklift driver. That was another job I thought about doing, actually. Obviously, because I worked in a depot, there were all these, forklift drivers. And, yeah, I mean, boring. I mean, who wants to be in a warehouse all day long anyway? To say those forklifts are very dangerous. Like, those things weigh so much. I don't know how much, obviously but they can weigh a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they're built to carry very heavy things. So, yeah. Forklift driver. I used to play that computer game called Shenmue. When I was probably like 11, 12, 13 years old. I used to play that game, Shenmue, on the Dreamcast. And you get a job at the docks being a forklift driver. That's a bit of a weird game. Yeah, so Grenada. I used to know a guy from Grenada, a guy called Joel. People say it's Joel, but he always used to say no, it's Joel. He liked to be called Joel. I mean, I don't see, obviously people say Joel, but then people say Noel, and Noel is Noel, so Joel. I mean, there's no, obviously, some people will say I'm Grant, but I say my name is Grant. It's like, yeah. I always remember a guy I used to work with years and years and years ago, in IT, and we used to take phone calls, IT support, and one of the people, he had an argument with someone he was a doctor, and his name was Dr. Diath. Dr. Diath, and it's spelled D, I think it's spelled D apostrophe EATH. So it looks like the word death, but it has an apostrophe after the D. So it's Dr. Diath. And he was arguing with him on the phone. He's like, no, your name's Dr. Death. You really want to have an argument with this doctor about his name being Dr. Death. I mean, fucking ridiculous, huh? Yeah. Strange, because his name was Greg Sinden. Sin's in his surname, Greg Sinden. Yeah. Used to drive me to work. Most days. Yeah, he had a Volkswagen. I can't remember what sort of Polo. Yeah, he used to pick me up. So, you know, he lived up the hill. When I lived in Brighton, he lived up the hill from me. And in the mornings, I'd just walk to the end of my street and he'd be parked there waiting for me, and I'd just jump in his car and I'd give him money for petrol. There was a couple of times I drove where he'd get in my car, but he decided he didn't want to do that anymore, because the last time I drove him, we were driving back from work and he screamed because I went round a bus and he was in the passenger seat. So when I was doing like 40, maybe 50 miles an hour, maybe 60 actually. I was going behind a bus there was a bus that was parked. And I was going, you know, down a hill, up a hill, and I'm looking around the corner, see if any cars are coming the other way. And I pulled out, so I was doing about 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, up behind the bus, and at the very last second, going around it. So he when he screamed, he literally thought he was going into the back of a bus at 60 miles an hour. And then this micro. So he didn't want me driving him to work anymore after that, so which was fine with me. His car was a lot nicer than mine, so fucking hell. I remember one time I pulled onto the motorway doing about 70 miles an hour, and maybe, I don't know, I was doing 70, 80 miles an hour, and I got, you know, 3 guys in the car with me, pulled out onto the motorway, and then I squeezed between 2 cars in the middle lane. I think they must have been in the middle lane, yeah. So I squeezed between these 2 cars, and I was literally like, there was almost no space in front or behind the car. I mean, these cars just literally wouldn't make a gap for me. So I was in the gap between them, this very small gap, and I was like, fucking hell. Yeah, I was like, you know, these people were just like asleep at the steering wheel, I think, because they didn't want to give me more space. And then I was like, fuck, and you know, and I wanted to move into the right lane to get out of this situation I was in the middle lane. And I signalled right, and I was about to pull right, and then this fucking van comes past at me at like 110 miles an hour, and I fucking had to swerve back in. And you know, because I went right and then I went left, and the car started going like this, fucking started snaking in the middle of the fucking motorway between 2 cars that weren't giving me any space, and still didn't crash. I used to fucking power slide around corners and all sorts of shit back then. I remember, you know, there was one time I went around a corner and just fucking it was a really weird surface, so I went around the corner kind of fast, and I started doing a drift around the fucking corner on the way to work one morning. It's like, you shouldn't do that, it's bad for your tires, Grant. Yeah, so when I used to drive when I was younger, I used to be a lot crazier than I am now, I would say. I would say I'm a lot more sensible than I used to be. But saying that, I don't drive a fucking tin can anymore. I drive a fucking car that's 100 grand. I don't drive something that I got for 500 quid. You know, there's a big difference. So, in terms of money, so yeah. Yeah. I mean, look how bad, you know, in the US, I'm looking at this article about, it says, Musk's MAGA mummy influencer who claims she's given birth to Elon's child started as a right-wing podcaster. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing, you know, all these Americans, they want to think, oh yeah, because God wants Donald Trump to be president and Elon Musk is so, you know, they're trying to pretend that they have, you know, God's approval or something like that. And I mean, you know, look at all the scandals they've been involved with, you know, pornography and breaking the law and, you know, filthy rich, you know, and Elon Musk. I mean, how many wives has he had? How many kids has he got? You know, like the guy's like having orgies and threesomes and all sorts of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? You hear the stories. And I mean, and he wants to pretend like God approves of him. I mean, that's the thing. People don't even know that women aren't supposed to lead the church. You know what I mean? I mean, this is how fucking bad it is. I mean, that's how stupid. The world is so evil and dumb. You know, I can't make, you know, that's the thing. I look at the world and I just, it is a clown show. It really is a clown show. I mean, why the fuck do I want to know about Kanye West and Bianca Censori? You know what I mean? She's got her tits out with her fucking, with a giant crucifix. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at the picture of her right now. Okay, I just clicked on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's wearing a white dress. Oh no, it's Kim Kardashian. Alright, she's got a white dress on. Like, so literally it comes down like this. So you can see her whole chest and her cleavage. And she's got an enormous crucifix, you know, with this, you know, massive like collar around her neck that's like pearls and diamonds and metal and stuff like that. And you know, her crucifix, it looks like it's got amethyst crystal on it and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? She's got a crystal crucifix around her neck. You know what I mean? And these people want to pretend that they have something, that God approves of them and that they love God, and people actually believe that crap. And then the pictures of, you know, Kanye West. I mean, he looks like a thief. It looks like he's dressed to rob someone's fucking house. Yeah, you know, he's like all in black, and he walks around town with his face covered, and you know, you know what I mean? It's like, and you know, his woman's, you know, he parades around naked, or she looks like she's wearing a fucking bin liner. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Her body's, do you know what I mean? She wants to show off her body. I mean, she doesn't look anything particularly special. Do you know what I mean? I look at her and I think, do you know what I mean? Like, why do I want to see that? Why do I care? Do you know, why does anyone care? You know, who's going to look at that and think, oh wow, look at Kanye, look how well he's done for himself, look at her body, whoa. No, I don't fucking care. I really don't care. I mean, I just think that he's a desperate loser, a fraud, a witch. And it's the same with anyone he's associated with. Bunch of freaks. He deserved to be burned at the stake for being witches. Yeah, that's what I believe. Anyways, and this is the thing, you know, all these Americans, they're all wearing their hats saying, "Make America Great Again." MAGA, 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 MAGA. You know, does that have some kind of connection with, you know, obviously the story about Gog and Magog? Well, you know, the interesting thing, the word Ma is in the word, you know, Ma is one way of saying mother. So people are saying MAGA, 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 MAGA. You know, there's this advert here. It says, "Welcome to MAGA land." You know, it's the same, you know, like the Church of England, right? So they call, you know, the Church of England, they call it the Mother Church. And then you have Catholics, they worship Mary. You know, people, if you don't love God, you love Mary. You are of the world. That's what Mary is. Mary is basically that's, she is of the world, right? She is of the physical matter. It's not, the fact is the word matter in Latin, mater, it means mother. And obviously, physical matter like soil or shit, dirt, well, that's physical matter too. Like, that's the thing. And my body, it consists of physical matter. Yeah, it's the temple of my spirit. And matter also means, if something matters, if you think that something matters, you think it's important. Yeah, so, by the world's own definitions, right, you think that mother is important. You think mother is what is important. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. In Latin, the word for father is, or dad, I suppose, the word is pater. 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 And that's the thing, well, what's paternity? That's the thing, things that are important, you don't call it pater, you call it, you don't say that it patters, you say it matters, right? And paternity, well, that's to do with childbirth. You understand? See, the world creates these words and mixes them, right? They invent a word and they give it several different meanings, and they use different languages to assign even more meanings to that sound, and so it becomes magic. It's a magic way of stealing energy from God, from me. That's why the world does what it does. The world's evil. Mary's evil, okay? The woman who was called the Virgin Mary, who carried Jesus Christ, she's evil. Isn't it strange though? Because I said, I'm God. I said to people, I said, honor your mother and father. Well, I didn't say those words, but I said, you're supposed to honor your parents, right? I also said, don't use the word father for anybody else except God. But people don't do that. Okay? Nobody teaches that. People use the word father for, do you know what I mean? For all kinds of dads. Anyone who's a dad, they'll just use that word for them. Why do they do that? Why? Oh, let's not forget the Swedish pop group ABBA. Oh yeah, let's not forget about them. Weren't they really famous, huh? Why do you think that happened? It's because they're witches. Who like to put themselves first. You see? They like to put themselves first, so they use the word of God who is first. So, you see, that's the thing, right? That's the thing, right? Because I'm God, I always win. I am the top. And the world, what it wants to do is it wants to steal my identity so it can be first. Okay? And obviously I destroy those who do that. Because I hate you for doing that. Because anyone, that's the thing, if someone tries to steal your identity, and then, do you know what I mean? Imagine stealing someone's identity and then saying that the person whose identity you stole from them, and then you tell everyone else that person their name's something else, and they're a fraud and they're a liar. Yeah, that's what the world does to me. The world wants to say that I'm the liar, I'm the fraud, when it's them trying to pretend to be me. They're trying to take my identity. They're trying to take my destiny. So I'm pretty tired of it. I'm very tired of it. So what else can I talk about here? Excuse me. um, so I saw, what's that guy's name? J.D. Vance. I think he's the Vice President of the United States of America now. The Vice President. Yeah. So I don't think I ever saw him before he became Vice President. I never really knew who the guy was, really. Yeah. His face is very, I don't know how to, his face is very sort of, I don't know. He has a strange face. There's something about his face. I don't know what it is that makes me think. I get a strange vibe from him. You know what I mean? Like, does he look like somebody I knew? Or know? Or there's something about, I don't know enough about, but obviously, as time goes on, I'm sure I'll figure out more stuff about him. Bloody, bloody, blah. But what was he talking about in the news yesterday? I can't remember what he was talking about. He was talking about, identity politics and, he's talking about, Western countries and politics and, obviously the Republicans at the moment, they're trying to really push back on things like identity politics, and they want, to solve problems with migration and illegal immigration, that kind of thing. Yeah, they want to really, and yeah, there's all sorts of really crazy things happening at the moment, especially with the economy as well. I mean, that's something I really need to look at more, actually. I need to look more at charts. I need to look more at stock indexes. I need to look at commodities. I need to look more at more cryptocurrencies, because that's the thing, because I got into Bitcoin very early in the game, right? I was interested in Bitcoin when I first bought Bitcoin back in, I suppose it was 2015 or 2016. I learned about some other cryptocurrencies, but I didn't really have that much interest in them, and I still am of the opinion that Bitcoin is superior in every way, right? Bitcoin is superior to Bitcoin is going to be the most valuable, okay? There are other cryptocurrencies that want to, I think some people think that Bitcoin will be replaced by a different crypto. I don't think so. Bitcoin was the first one to take that spot, and and that's the thing. Even though it's Bitcoin is the best one, in my opinion. It's the most important one. And how many cryptocurrencies are there now? I mean, people are talking there's like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And people want to have all these stupid fucking meme coins, and it's become, all these meme coins, all these, people are doing all these pump and dumps. The thing, when I first got interested in trading, actually, it was before. Yeah, I remember when I first I subscribed to a letter. It was called Penny Stocks. There was a newsletter I used to get it sent to me, or emailed to me, I think. I subscribed to it, and they used to send me a letter, and it used to be recommendations for buying penny stocks. So I got interested in penny stocks for a little while. Not that I actually traded any, but I was looking into it as a potential way to make some money. and I sort of decided against it. You know, that seemed like a waste of time, really. But you know, that's really what I see with, you know, there are all these people who want to buy shit coins, and then they want to talk them up, and then, you know, once it's gone up, you know, they want to sell out and get out of it, and then they move on to the next shit coin. You know, I really don't like that. I really think is crap. It's crap. So much crap, and I'm not interested in, you know, I don't want to be buying stupid fucking shit coins. And Bitcoin is, you know, that is going to be very valuable. It already is. I mean, come on, it's like almost $100,000 a coin. You know, if I'd held on to what I originally had, I would have millions of dollars. I'd be super rich, but, you know, I mean, I'd have loads of money. But of course, anyone could really, you know, I mean, like, you know, I lost it because I was doing extremely risky trading with futures contracts. I was using 20x leverage. That's what I was doing all the time. 20x leverage. If you don't know what that is, well, go educate yourself. That's very risky. You know, that's not hodling at all. That's you know, you know what I mean? That's like, you know, it's very risky. It's very risky. I mean, you know, you really have to know how to trade properly in order to make a lot of money at, you know, dealing with that amount of leverage. And the thing is, Bitcoin was a lot more volatile back then. And obviously the exchanges weren't regulated to the same standard that they are now. So, you know, lots of crazy things were happening when I was doing that stuff back then. You know, like, you know, there were whales, and there were problems. There were, you know, traders who had lots of, you know, and, you know, you'd sometimes see some massive spikes. You know, you'd see, like, in the futures market, there were sometimes enormous spikes in price difference. And so, you know, it was, traders were getting wiped out, like, you know, just in an instant and stuff like that. And because it was so volatile. So it was incredibly risky what I did. And you know, it's what I did at the time. You know, a lot of people might think what I did was stupid, but you have to understand that back then I was of the mindset of, you know that title, you know, what 50 Cent, you know, his album was called, Get Rich or Die Trying. Well, that's essentially what I was doing, because I was already prepared to die. Basically, I was already, I wasn't worried about it. You know, to myself, I thought to myself, well, the way things are going and how I feel about stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like, you know, I have to take a risk. You know, I wanted to take the risk. And so I did. You see, the thing is that I saw the opportunity with Bitcoin, but, you know, at that point, I hadn't learned properly how to trade. I hadn't really learned how markets move. And I spent years learning that. I spent years studying that. But while I was studying that, I was trading. So I lost a lot of money while I was learning. So it meant that, you know, I was more knowledgeable when I had less money to play with. I'd lost most of my money by that point. So it really, you know, I did things really the wrong way around. I should have learned to do things. I should have learned how to trade before I got into trading. You know what I mean? You don't jump into the middle of the ocean and then say you're going to learn to swim, do you? Because it's a dumb fucking idea. You know, that's how you drown. You know, I thought, you know, I felt like I'd figure it out. You know, I thought that I would, you know, I was winging it, okay? And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I hated the people I was working with. you know, I felt depressed. I felt like I couldn't deal with people anymore. So I decided to retreat to my cave, to my home. It wasn't literally a cave, but I lived in the flat in Brighton, and I decided I was going to stay at home and I was going to learn how to do it. And I did that for 3 years, and eventually I ran out of money. But I did last 3 years, so I did okay, considering. I won money gambling. I won money. I made a bit of money with Bitcoin. I mean, I had some fucking crazy. I mean, like, I remember one day I only had about. I remember I ran out of all my Bitcoin, and I had some Dash coin. See, I bought it when it was called Dark Coin. Then it became known as Dash. Then I sold the Dash. I don't know. I think I had like 400 Dash or something like that. It was something like that. So I had maybe like $1.5 grand in terms of money. I think it was something, I don't really remember, but exactly how much. But I think it was about $1,500, right? And then I was trading. I went back to Bitcoin futures with 20x leverage. So technically, I had a trade on that was probably a value of what's 20 times $1,500. Well, it's about $30,000. And I put short on Bitcoin, and then there was a hack. It was Bitfinex got hacked, and the price it plunged, and it went all the way down. And I remember I was actually subscribed to a guy's service, so I'd signed up to a service where a guy, he does weekly, he does like daily or weekly analysis of the Bitcoin charts, and he explains how to, when to get into the trade, and how to, he was running a trading group, right, leading traders how to make money on Bitcoin using various indicators, moving averages and stuff like that. And his trading site was okay. It was okay. Although I think I'm superior to him now, definitely. But yeah. But anyways, and I remember messaging him when it fell. So it fell all the way down, and I messaged him, and basically I managed to close that trade. So it went all the way down. I closed the trade, and then I went long, and then it came back up again, and I was up. So I went from $1,500 up to about $25,000. So that was pretty good. That was one hell of a fucking. That was probably the most success I've ever had trading futures contracts. Obviously, that's the thing. It's very leveraged. So that's the thing. I turned $1,500 into $25,000, and then after that, it all got eroded. I lost it all again. So I was doing very risky trading. Okay, believe me when I say that. I was doing truly terrifying things. I mean, to a guy who's got loads of money, I mean, if I did that now with that amount, that's not a lot of money to me. But back then, I was getting paid about £1,500 a month. That was my salary. So to turn $1,500 into $25,000, I mean, that was truly terrifying stuff I was doing for me. So, is it any wonder my hair started falling out? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there you go. That's the story. I was taking serious risks. I mean, some people like to jump out of airplanes, go skydiving. Some people like to do base jumping. Some people like to do, swimming with sharks or whatever it is. But I was doing the risk. I was doing financial stuff. Okay, and yeah. I mean, when you see someone go to a casino and they put all their money on black or red on roulette, Do you know what I mean? I mean, well, you know, a lot of people would think that's terrifying. You know, but what are the odds of that? I mean, it's like 49.5%. And what I was doing, well, what were the odds of me getting what I did? You know what I mean? Like, I was doing some real crazy shit. I mean, that's the thing with a chart, you know, because if you're using 20%, if you're using 20x leverage, well, that gives you a leeway. That gives you, you know, if the price goes about 4.5% in the wrong direction, then your trade gets closed. You lose all your money. So, because, you know, well, a 20th, you know, a 20th is, well, it's 5%, isn't it? If you divide 100 by 20, it's 5. But obviously you have to allow for a bit of slippage, because you get margin called before it hits the 5%. So it's about 4.5% thereabouts. And obviously that's the thing with, you know, with a chart, you know, because it doesn't go in a straight line. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might think it's going to go up, right? But then it might go up a little bit. It might pull back down a bit. It might come back down 5%, 6%, 10%. And then it might carry on going up again, you know? So, you know, you really have to know when to get into the trade. You really need to know where that turning point is, you know? Because if you don't, then, you know, you have to have a really good strategy to be able to handle that type of trading. You know, you have to be able to trade with surgical precision. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do. And it's a lot harder than it's very, very difficult. I mean, the thing is, I'm God as well, and the thing is, the world is trying to destroy me. So, you know, the world is trying to get me margin call. That's the thing. The world wants me to lose. That's the thing. I'm fighting a world of demons that are trying to get me destroyed. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's the thing. Even when I play poker, right? If I play a game of poker, I can see how magic works. I see how magic it's influencing the cards I'm getting. Okay. I mean, I've even been doing a bit of experimenting to see if I can, you know, so I try to do magic so that it's going to influence, it's going to change what kind of cards and hands I get. I've been experimenting a bit with that, just to see, you know, how can I, you know, and I look at all the player names and I see, you know, all the magic words they're using and stuff like that. And I'm thinking how I can beat them with magic, how I can improve my odds with magic. That's something most people don't understand. You know, I'm God, and, you know, I'm trying to figure out how can I turn this situation in my favor. You know, how can I fight the demons with magic so it makes me win? You know, how can I improve my odds with magic? So, you know, I've got a lot of interesting things I can look into. So yeah. I mean, I tried one experiment. So what I did was, you know, I've got a pack of cards, playing cards. So what I did was I got 2 aces, and I'll be playing poker on my phone. So what I do is I would put the cards under my phone. So to see, because I would, you know, I sometimes play a game and I would never get a pair of aces. So I thought, I know what, you know, because I hadn't got a good hand in ages. So I thought, you know what, I'll see if I put 2 physical cards under my phone, let's say ace, and see how long it takes me to get a pair of aces. And look, I got a pair of aces not long after doing that. So I mean, that's the thing. It's because demons. It's because my energy, right? It's the world constantly trying to grab hold of my energy. So, you know, it's dealing me the ace. So, you know, I was influencing the cards, right? And I was trying to do different magic like that. So yeah, it's a very weird thing to talk about, but Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You know, I realized I'm God. I realized that I'm very powerful, and I realized that the world wants my power, and the world is battling, having a magic. The world is battling me with magic. So, you know, obviously, that magic is very complex. I mean, what did Jesus say? Jesus said, you know, if you want a mountain to move, you just tell it to move. Yeah, use your words. You know, believe that it will happen. But the thing is that words are magic. But the thing is that the language that was used then is very different from the languages that are used now. Because, you know, thousands of years ago, languages were different. Okay, so today, you know, there are all kinds of new languages. Okay, and English is the language I speak. I don't speak Aramaic anymore. I don't speak Koine Greek. I don't speak Hebrew. Okay, I mean, I might know a few words, right? But I don't speak those languages. Okay, I learned Latin when I was at school, and I've forgotten most of that. So yeah. Yeah, the Vulgate, the Latin Vulgate. Yeah, it's interesting. So when I was growing up, I used to brush my teeth with Colgate toothpaste, and I had a vulgar mouth. Vulgate, yeah. Vulgar Colgate, yeah. Magic words. The thing is that because there's so much hidden magic in words that, you know, the idea of so when Jesus said, you know, if you want a mountain to move, just tell it to move. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not quite as simple as that anymore. It's not quite as simple. I have to say I don't, you know, because that's the thing. There's so many different languages now, and there's so much, people are doing so much witchcraft. People have done so much magic. You know, people have known about Jesus Christ and the New Testament, the Old Testament. They've known about that for thousands of years now. And so many people have tried to steal my power through words and art and all the stories they invent and shit like that. You know, So, you know, I've you know, the magic battle is way more complicated than it used to be. Okay. People who try to steal my power will be destroyed. Okay. Those who love me will be rewarded. Those who do not love me will die in their sins. I don't lose. I mean, that's the thing, you know. There's a war, you know, and a war consists of many battles. And not every battle I'll win. You know, I don't win every single battle. But ultimately it doesn't matter because I always win, even when I lose. Okay? I don't actually lose. It might appear that I might lose in some situations, but ultimately my losses lead to me winning. I always win in the end because I'm God. Okay? I mean, it's like, you know, when I was Jesus Christ, I was crucified, right? Jesus was crucified. You know, a lot of people would think, well, he definitely lost then, didn't he? No. See, that loss turned into an enormous win. Yeah? That's the thing. Even when I lose, I win. You know, I used to play the game Street Fighter a lot. Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, and I played a bit of Street Fighter 6 as well. And, you know, there was a time where I play online and I would think, wow. You know, when I first started playing online, I used to get absolutely destroyed. You know, I was like, shit. You know, but then I got to the point where, you know, I'm one of the, you know, I would, you know, what's my, you know, Street Fighter 5, you know, I managed to get to 1,500th in the world. I mean, I was playing against pro players. There are pro player world champions that I've played against online, and some of them I wouldn't say I've beaten a world champion. I've beaten guys who are well known in the fighting game community. So there are players that I've beaten Twitch streamers who've got hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers and something, maybe millions, some of them that I've beaten on their stream. I've done stuff like that. So and the thing about Street Fighter is you have to learn how to lose. It's a very stressful game to play, and if you can't accept losing, and that's the thing, that's why there aren't that many people who like to play fighting games, is because it's very stressful, because it's 1v1. And I mean, I used to know a guy, I played him online, and he broke his PlayStation controller. He fucking threw it across the room. He told me online, he was like, he threw it across the room, and he smashed one of his expensive guitars as well. He broke his guitar because of rage. And that's the thing, right? You can't, to be a winner, you have to learn how to be a loser first. Losing is, you can't become a winner unless you are okay with losing. Yeah. Which is interesting, isn't it? Because, Jesus said those who try to hold on to their lives will lose it. And those who are willing to lose their lives, those who lose their lives in serving Jesus Christ, in serving God, will find their lives. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's very interesting, isn't it, to think about those sorts of things. I mean, that's the thing. There's so many people in this world, their egos don't allow them, people get so angry, and, they're so full of pride that when they lose, they can't handle it. I've played so many guys where, they want to argue with me, like, I don't like how you play, or I don't, like, why would you do that, or this and that, and like, you shouldn't have won that, you're not good, you're shit, you're a scrub, you're this or that, and it's like, yeah, well, I beat your ass, many times. You know what I mean? Like, people like to argue, that's the thing, people, that when their ego gets hurt, when someone's ego is hurt, and it really shows. I mean, that's not to say that they don't ever have any valid points. I mean, the truth is that, some people, that's the thing, it's like in I was saying about poker players. I was saying that the other day, how, at low stakes, the poker players can be really rubbish. Like, you're supposed to be able to analyze how they play, but then you look at some of these players, it's like, it's impossible to analyze. They're so, you know what I mean? And is the reason they won, is it because they're really good and they're unreadable because they're really good, or they really don't know what they're doing? They're just winging it. They're basically, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, but anyways, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those weird things. I noticed I got a subscription to chess.com. So it came with my one of my banking products. I'm paying for a bank card. I've got a subscription with Revolut, and I get a whole bunch of subscriptions with them. All kinds. I've got like access to the Financial Times, and I get like VPN. I get some subscription to Tinder. Not that I'll ever use that, probably. and various things. And one of them is chess.com, and that's the thing. I'm rubbish. I don't know. I really don't know how to play chess. I really don't know. I don't even know how to play it. I mean, because I have played it before when I was a kid, but I've played so little chess that I honestly couldn't tell you how to play the game. I honestly don't know. I always found it quite a boring game. I was never really a fan of it. But saying that, I might give it another go. I might have a go at playing some chess. Yeah, it's an interesting game. I suppose. I mean, just for the fact that it's such a popular game and most people know how to play chess. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, when I started getting into poker and Street Fighter, I started learning about, game psychology and game theory, and trying to understand all that kind of stuff, trying to understand how psychology works, and how to analyze, and how to find an edge, and all that kind of stuff, learning lots of different strategies, and seeing, and the thing is that, having variety is a good thing, because, you can learn different things from different games, and, your skill from one game, you can pick up a skill from one game, and you can kind of use it in a different game in some ways, right? Because you learn you learn different things from different games, basically. Okay. And that's why, in the world, there are players, there are people out there who will, sometimes you get people, they're like, for instance, you get pro gamers who are, they'll be good in multiple games. Most pro gamers tend to stick to one game, or maybe two at the most. But there's some players out there, they're able to be good at lots of different games. So yeah. I mean, some pro poker players, they like to play chess. And some, I say poker, but most of them, it's no limit hold'em poker that they usually play. But a lot of players, they play Omaha pot limit Omaha, and that's a game I've not really played before. So there's a whole bunch of different poker games as well. Yeah, I remember, ages ago, there was a website. They were going to have a website which was going to it was going to be made for playing competitive games for money, so people could play, say, Counter-Strike or Street Fighter, and have money matches. And so what they would do is they would hold the money, so whoever wins would get the money. It was a service that, I don't know, but that particular website never got made, so I don't know what happened with that. I don't think it ever became a thing, because I think the game companies didn't like the idea, probably. But there's all sorts of weird sites. I remember there was a website which is like a 3D pool and snooker game. So it's a computer game where you're playing pool and snooker, and you can play it for money as well. So kind of like, that certainly used to be the case. Yeah, anyways, I stopped playing that. But it's really interesting, so I'm not trying to encourage people to gamble, obviously, but I'm just talking about stuff that I'm, yeah. Anyways, I'm blabbering a little bit. I'm waffling. the end of the day, I'm God, and I want the world to acknowledge who I am and treat me the way I should be treated. And, that's going to, money is something I should never have to worry about, ever. But because the world is not going to, people will not acknowledge who I am, well, I'm going to take care of my finances in the ways that I'm happy to do it. A lot of people, well, that's the thing, a lot of Christians would say, you shouldn't gamble, you shouldn't be a trader, you should be just working, have a decent job, do something that contributes to the community, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, I'm God, I'm a special case, okay? I am the exception to that rule, okay? And anyone who tries to copy me is cursed, okay? Anyone who thinks that they can copy me and mimic me is evil, okay? As far as I'm concerned, people were supposed to get to me through Jesus Christ. I was Jesus Christ. I was crucified. So, I ask people to have a relationship with me, the Father, through Jesus Christ. If people don't do that, then they are on the path to destruction. So, I'm the exception to the rule. I'm looking out for myself because I have to, because everyone else wants to fight me. Okay? My experience is very unique. There is no one else who has the same experience as me. Okay? No one is, I wear my own shoes. Okay? No one else stands in my shoes. Okay? I know I'm God because the things I see and experience these things are different from what everyone else experiences. And trying to explain that to people through videos is very difficult. That's why I've made thousands of videos that's why I've made so many videos trying to explain this. Yet nobody will believe me or understand me. So it's a horrible situation for me to be in. I want people to acknowledge who I am, but I'm not having any luck with that. So I shall, I've made the videos, people need to watch them. If people don't watch them, then they don't watch them. I can't force people to watch my videos. I can't make them sit there. I can't make them click on a video and watch it. They have to do that. People have to hear who I am and tell other people who I am. Otherwise, it's not going anywhere. So I may as well go do something else and see what happens. Give it a few years. I'll give it 6 months, I'll give it a year, give it 2 years. I think probably what I'm going to do now is get my life organized, get all my paperwork sorted, get my house organized, get my finances organized, and I'm going to carefully assess all of the options that are available to me. And then I'm going to look at what I should do. So, it could mean that I stay here, or it could mean I move to another country. I'm probably going to want to go on holiday. I probably want to go to different places. I probably want to see what options are available to me financially. Are there any tax incentives for going somewhere else? There are other, maybe I want to live in Portugal. Maybe I want to live in Dubai, or maybe somewhere else, or maybe not. Or maybe I want to move to a different house in this country. Maybe I want to sell this house. Maybe I want to go, you know, maybe I can move to Scotland, or maybe I want to move to another part of the United Kingdom. You know, maybe I want to rent, or maybe I want to live in a caravan. I don't know. There's so many different options. I don't know. But I'm sure I will make videos and I will explain what I'm doing in my life. You know, I'll continue to keep a video diary. I'm sure of that. Probably. Am I ever going to stop making videos? I don't know. Probably not. Even if nobody will, you know, even if I only get one view on every video. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a video diary of me, God. You know, let's say I did that for 10 years and then I die. And then I'm gone. And then people discover my videos and they're like, oh, this guy said he's God, he's dead now, but he said he was God. And all sorts of crazy stuff's happened since he died. You know? Maybe something like that would happen. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I know what I want to happen, but what I want to happen and what will happen are not the same thing. Well, certainly in the short term anyway. In the long term, what I want to happen will happen. I mean, that's the thing, right? Because on God, you know, God didn't, you know, I didn't, you know, I mean, think about it. Did God create man so he could destroy him and send him to the lake of fire? Not really, no. But you see, I created man and I created woman. And obviously I wanted to have a relationship with man and woman. But that didn't go the way I wanted it to. You see? So, or we could look at it a different way. You know, I'm God, I created man, and I'm teaching man and woman how it is. Yeah? And that is happening over a very long period of time. So I'm teaching man and woman what it is to be a man and a woman. And I'm teaching them what it's like for me to be God. Because I'm God. There is no other God. I'm God. And, you know, a lot of things have been written about me. A lot of things have been said about me. And I'm speaking for myself. Yeah, I'm making a video diary telling you what my life is like. How I've lived. How I'm living. And how I think. And how things really are. If people can't, you know. So how's this all going to go? I don't know. But I'm telling you, all these videos I've made, you know, I'm thinking at some point, a lot of people are going to watch my videos. A lot of people are going to look at my social media and look at all the things I've posted. And that's tens of thousands of things I've posted. Okay? My Facebook account is nearly 20,000 posts in the space of 3 years. My X account is more like, it's currently at 11.6 thousand posts. And I started that later than my Facebook account. Okay? I mean, the account's actually older, but when I started with it again, I deleted all my posts and started again, and that probably was, that was probably like 2023, probably. It was after my Facebook account, which I created in 2022. It wasn't my first Facebook account. It was probably my second Facebook account. Quite honestly, I don't know how many Facebook accounts I've had, but it might be 2, it might be 3, I don't know. Because the thing is, back in 2019, when I got attacked by demons, I got surrounded by ghosts, evil spirits. They started to sexually assault me. And at that time, I had a Facebook account that a lot of people were spying on, a lot of people were looking at. I was very hated in Brighton for the things that I posted online. A lot of people disliked me and spied on me online because all my posts I did publicly, so anyone could look at it. I was basically fighting people with truth, okay? That was what I was trying to do. And when I got ambushed by lots of demons, I felt forced. I felt like I was forced to delete my Facebook account then. And so that's what I did, and I stayed off Facebook for, well, almost 3 years. And then I came back to it, thinking, oh, I need to do that again. And so that's what I did. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When I opened the current Facebook account I have, it's in my name, Grant Salvin. But I registered it with an email address, which was a different name. So it was an email address which is, I think, Grant. The surname I changed, so it's Safin. You know that film No Time to Die came out, and the villain guy, he was called Safin. Safin. You know, he's the one who kills loads of people with like a disease, right? Well, that's the thing. I changed my name to Grant Safin, and I created an email account called Grant Safin, and I registered my Facebook account, which is Grant Salvin, with the email address Grant Safin. And it's an email address I don't even access. I'm not sure I even remember what the password is for it, actually. I haven't accessed that account for ages. So, I don't know. I mean, I could probably get access to it if I tried. But I don't use it for anything apart from Facebook, and that's it. So, maybe I should try accessing. I don't know. I hate email. I really do. I've got so many unread emails in email accounts. I mean, it's crazy. When I get, I've got tens of thousands of unread emails. Like, I hate that shit. I mean, who wants to spend all day fucking managing an email account? What a fucking bore. So much. I hate junk mail. I really do. I really hate, these days you want to go on a website and it'll ask you, do you accept all cookies? And there's like 144, I'll say there's hundreds of vendors that want to have cookies in your browser and track you and advertise to you, all kinds of crap. I hate that shit. It's so annoying. You know what I mean? Like I have a Raspberry Pi computer, and if I go on dailymail.co.uk, is it .co.uk? dailymail.com. So if I go on dailymail.com, I mean, the adverts on there They have so many adverts that, you know, it makes my fucking browser crash. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time. I mean, it's so bad. And, you know, I used to use ad blocker for it, but then they started saying you can't access this website unless you turn off your ad blocker. So I turned it off, didn't I? I mean, it's so. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, who even looks at? You know what I mean? These adverts are just. It's so much crap. I mean, like, who actually clicks on that stuff and thinks, oh yeah, I better buy that junk. I want to sit and listen to. You know what I mean? You click on something and it forces you to watch an hour-long video of some fucking nonsense, asking if you want to get into some fucking pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off. I hate that stuff. I really do. Oh yeah, that's right, isn't it? So today was the deadline, wasn't it? So it's Saturday, and it was at noon. So oh yeah, so it's at noon, isn't it? So was that noon Israel time or Palestine time, or is it noon USA time? I don't know, because obviously they have 3 time zones in the USA, don't they? Probably. I think it is 3 zones, but anyway, Eastern Standard Time, whatever, right? But obviously the deadline was today for the hostages to be returned. In fact, I don't know if they did. They might have done it already. I think. I don't know. I think the Hamas, the Palestinians, they're going to release the hostages today, or they already have. So yeah. But that's the thing, you know, the world. That's the thing. I'm surrounded by demons that are holding me hostage. God. And I'm the one who needs to be released from them. And the world is trying to pretend that it has released. You see, the demons are trying to pretend that they've released me when they haven't. The world is conspiring with demons to keep me trapped. And I said that if I don't get released, well, I'm starting World War III. Okay, so you know, I'm talking. You know, if the world will not acknowledge who I am, well, I'm going to destroy the world until I get what I want. I've been saying this for years now. I've been saying this for a long time. People either give me what I want, or I'll take away everything from them in another way. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. That is going to happen. I mean, how else should I say it? How else should I explain myself? I mean, the thing is, you know, Christians, you know, they expect Jesus to be walking on a cloud in the sky, and they expect to look up and see him there and be like, oh, he's come. Yeah, that's what the average Christian thinks about the second coming of Jesus Christ. But then, you know, people want to call, you know, if I do this, yeah, so you know, I'm breathing smoke like a dragon. You know, people call that a cloud of smoke. Okay, and I'm speaking to you through the internet. Yeah, I'm recording a video of myself, you know, which is a series of images of me. Yeah. With audio. And I'm uploading that to the internet, and people call the internet, they call it the cloud. So, you know, and the thing is that people have called the big ball of light, you know, the thing that's at the center of our solar system, yeah, they call that the sun. And every single day you go out, you see clouds in the sky probably. Most days you will see clouds in the sky. And you'll see the sun there in the clouds. Every single fucking day. Yeah? I mean, there are always clouds in the sky somewhere on Earth. Yeah? There are always clouds somewhere. But that's not me. I'm here. I'm God. You know, I'm breathing clouds of smoke and I'm talking to you through the cloud. And so, you know, and all these other people want to be in the cloud as well. You know, people have become puffed up in their fleshly minds. They believe they're God because they're doing things that I'm doing, that I'm supposed to do. Yeah, and they're mimicking me. And so they've become tools of demons. You know, they've been, their egos have been stroked. You know, their egos have been, you know, the demons give them thoughts and ideas. And, you know, their egos are unchecked. You know, they don't their pride is death to them. Their pride, people's pride will be their death, their downfall. I'm God. I have every right to be proud of what I've done, what I've achieved. I'm God. I'm the one who should be proud. I am proud of myself. I am number one. Okay? I should be. It's very hard for me to, you know, I have a very unique situation that people don't understand. They don't care. So, what else can I say? Excuse me. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, you know, Jesus Christ said, you know, no one else is teacher. God is teacher, right? Jesus was teacher, okay? You all have one teacher in Christ. Jesus Christ, the teacher. Yeah, and obviously I grew up as a little boy, right? I went to school. I had teachers, and I would call them my teacher. But that's the thing, I'm the teacher. I'm God. I mean, I even used to drink a bottle of whiskey called Teachers. I mean, well, it's called Teachers. It's not called Teacher, but it's called Teachers. I think there's even, there's a magic mushroom actually that's called Golden Teacher, I think. It's a strain of magic mushroom. I'm God. I am the teacher. Jesus Christ was the teacher. I mean, it was Jesus Christ who was really the teacher, right? I mean, I said to people, you know, Jesus Christ said, nobody gets to the Father except through Jesus Christ. Yeah? I'm the Father. And, you know, I didn't come here to teach people, really. I came here to, I'm here to tell people, to teach people that they should have listened to Jesus Christ, the teacher. Yeah, that's who I was. Okay? So I mean, imagine a teacher who's gone on holiday, right? So, the teacher goes to the school, teaches the kids, and then at the end of the holiday, end of that term, they go home, right? And at that point, they're not doing their job as a teacher. They might be doing, marking people's work. They go through people's exam papers and whatever, right? To say, yeah, you've done this, and they judge the work that they've done. Yeah. Well, I was Jesus Christ, but I'm the Father, and this is, I'm supposed to enjoy the fruits of my labor. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to receive glory. But the world doesn't want to give me that glory. It wants my glory. That's the problem. The world thinks it deserves my glory. The world wants to tell itself that it deserves my glory, but it doesn't. That's the problem. I earned it. I'm God. I created the world and everything. If anyone deserves it, it's me. Coca-Cola. It's not cold though, but whatever. I need a drink. Oh, come on, fucking go on there. Stupid fucking thing. Whatever. Alright, so I have to do a few things. I need to do some tidying because there is trash everywhere. I said, that's the thing, I really do need to get rid of all the trash in my house. I mean, what's really concerning is that while I'm sitting here on my chair, right? Some would say my throne. I mean, it's not a throne. It's a chair. It's a desk chair with wheels on the bottom. It's a wheelchair. Some could say it was a wheelchair, and that's the thing, right? Because well, Jesus Christ said, "Stand at the right, sit at the right hand of the Father," and well, to my right hand side is a big mountain of trash. I mean, I've got a bottle of gas, butane gas. I've got tarot cards. And there's literally a big mountain of trash. I mean, it's probably about 3 foot high. It's about 2.5 foot high, I think. It's like tissues. It's coffee cups. It's packaging. Cans, tobacco packets, chocolate wrappers, Capri Sun, juice things. I mean, I just have an enormous pile of trash, and that's in my lounge. In my kitchen, it's even worse. And I've got a ton of cleaning to do. And the thing is, every time I try to clean my house, I get back pain, I get pain in my shoulders, I get very irritated. I mean, this is the thing, years ago, when I used to live in my flat in Brighton, I used to, I probably wasn't the cleanest guy, but I liked to live a clean, I wanted my house to be, dust, and I didn't want loads of dust, I didn't want, I liked having a carpet that had been hoovered. I liked, I liked having clean dishes and stuff like that. I didn't want a kitchen that was a total mess and a total nightmare. But you see, when I became a Bitcoin trader, when I stopped being employed and I went home to trade Bitcoin, and I was doing, I was reading the Bible, I was watching lots of YouTube videos, I was trying to discover truth. I was trying to figure out, what is the truth? Like, what is really going on in this world? Because I felt compelled to really find out, the ultimate truth. What is the ultimate truth? And, I learned about history, I learned about politics, I learned about all kinds of stuff. How society works, what people think, and, trying to figure out, what's right and what's wrong, and reading the Bible and being impressed with all the suggestions that were made in the Bible. Like from, what did Jesus say? What did God say? And, really trying to figure out what the truth is. And eventually it led to me being ambushed by demons. And before that happened, actually, before they came to me, actually, my flat was full of trash. It got so bad that, when I lived in Brighton, the kitchen, right? So I remember one time I went in there and it was full of flies, because I remember leaving some chicken legs out, right? That I left them with the windows open, and I think what happened was, like a big fat fly had flown in, laid eggs in the chicken legs in my kitchen, and the next thing I knew, there was like a billion freaking flies in my kitchen. And I used to do dumb stuff like that, basically. And I used to go into my kitchen with a Hoover, and I would literally I would wrap a t-shirt around my face, and I would just Hoover up all the flies. I would Hoover up all of them that I could get with the Hoover, and then I would stick a plastic bag in the end of the Hoover so they couldn't get back out again, and then I'd just leave my Hoover, just waiting for them all to die inside the Hoover. Basically, and I used to do all sorts of fucking gross shit like that, basically. Yeah. And it was at that time when I started seeing demons and stuff, right? I started getting visions of demons, and then I got ambushed. I got attacked by ghosts, sexually assaulted by ghosts. That's not a joke. That really isn't a joke. I mean, that was absolutely terrifying. I mean, I have to wonder, what's worse? What is worse? I mean, like, obviously if someone gets attacked in that particular way, well, let's say if it was done by people, flesh, body people, right? People who are in bodies, well, in a way it's worse, but at least there's evidence of what happened. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at least there's potentially, but the fact is that they're ghosts. These I'm surrounded by ghosts who do this to me. So how do I explain? How does anyone help me? How can I get any help for that? When was the last time the police pressed charges against a ghost? Yeah, it doesn't happen, does it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are no, there's no law. If someone gets sexually assaulted by a ghost or ghosts, who's going to arrest them? Who's going to do that? Well, the fact is, I'm God. I will have vengeance. Okay, I will. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Because in the book of Revelation, actually, I'll read it right now. Okay, so it talks about, the book of Revelation, the first 3 chapters, it talks about the 7 churches. It's the letters to 7 different churches, and one of them sounds very similar to my situation. So let me read it to you quickly, okay? So I've got my Pit Minion here, my NIV Pit Minion. So Revelation, ooh, yeah, okay. So I got, so church, that's 2, okay, so, yeah, so, yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 18. Okay, so this is, it said, to the church in Thyatira. Okay, so verse 18, it says, to the angel of the church in Thyatira, write, these are the words of the Son of God, whose eyes are like blazing fire, and whose feet are like burnished bronze. I know your deeds, your love and faith, your service and perseverance, and that you are now doing more than you did at first. Nevertheless, I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. By her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. I have given her time to repent of her immorality, but she is unwilling. So I will cast her on a bed of suffering, and I will make those who commit adultery with her suffer intensely, unless they repent of her ways. I will strike her children dead. Then all the churches will know that I am he who searches hearts and minds, and I will repay each of you according to your deeds. Now I say to the rest of you in Thyatira, to you who do not hold to her teaching and have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets, I will not impose any other burden on you except to hold on to what you have until I come. To the one who is victorious and does my will to the end, I will give authority over the nations. That one will rule them with an iron scepter and will dash them to pieces like pottery, just as I have received authority from my Father. I will also give that one the morning star. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Well, there's so many things I could say about this. I mean, interesting thing is, I was talking about that woman who claims to be the Bishop of London. I don't know what her other name is, but I mean, apparently she has a title, like she's got like a commander of the British Empire or something like that. What empire? But anyway, yeah, she's got some weird titles. Anyway, I mean, she, says you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. Well, this is the thing, right? I mean, this is the thing. I mean, the interesting thing about, woman's role, the woman's role in the Bible. I mean, in the Old Testament, there have been female women, right? There have been women who have prophesied, okay? But they're not supposed to lead the church, okay? A woman is not supposed to lead the church. But a lot of women will use those examples of a woman prophesying as they want to twist scripture so that they can say that that they should lead the church. So they want to twist it. So they'll use examples of women who have prophesied in the past. So that's interesting. So you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. By her teaching, she misleads. Well, that's the thing. A woman is a miss. Yeah. I mean, obviously, before a woman gets married, she's a miss. She's miss, and then she gets married, and then she's Mrs. Miss is. Yeah. Miss is miss. By her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. So that's the, Jezebel. 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 I mean, that's the thing, when people are in the church, right? When people pray, they pray in the name of Jesus. Jesus. So Jezebel, it's very similar. So Jesus and Jezebel. Jezebel. I mean, there's a bit of a similarity there. There is a bit of a similarity in the words and the sounds. So there's also some strange magic happening. You see, this is the thing. When people pray to God in the name of Jesus, they're putting on the armor of God. I mean, basically what people are doing, that's the thing. Through Jesus Christ, I enabled people to be blessed with my power. Okay? They're basically they're basically trying to, so that's why the world is constantly trying to pretend they're me. It's because they want my power. And I said, Jesus told people that if they want to do that, people have to come through Jesus Christ to get to me. There's if you want my blessing, you need to have a relationship with me through Jesus Christ. I have given her time to repent of her immorality. Sexual immorality. Well, this is the thing, right? Because you know what gender is, right? At birth, a child is born, and they'll either say, the sex of the baby or the gender of the baby is male or female. That's how it used to be, right? I don't know what they do now, but and people argue, sex and genders, they're different things. Like, to me, well, I mean, what is sex? I mean, sex has different meanings for a start. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing, right? That's why it's called Babel. If a man says, "Oh, I had sex with a woman," what does that mean? Because sex can mean gender. Sex can just mean male or female. Do you know what I mean? Like, what does it really mean? Do you know what I mean? And if, it's like, if Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, let's say they had bondage sex, right? And then when Bill Clinton says, "I did not have sex with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with that woman." Well, you know what a nut is, right? You know what a nut is? Maybe they had bondage sex. Probably they did, actually. Would I be surprised? No. So, it says here, sexual immorality. Well, what does sex mean? It can mean gender. It can mean male or female. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. My flesh biological mom, she had her first lesbian relationship. She had it with a woman called Jen. Yeah. And she had short hair. She had quite a manly look to her, right? And then there's the word gender. Yeah. And that's the thing. My mom used to say, "Oh, don't tell your friends at school that she's the girlfriend. Just say that she's your aunt." And obviously Genesis. Yeah. "Oh, that's my mom's sister, Jen." Yeah, that's not a girlfriend. That's her sister. Jen's her sister. Genesis. See, demons, they try to attack me in so many different ways. But anyways, says here. And that's the thing, demons are using, because that's the thing. My mom, my biological mom, the flesh mom, or I'm God. I'm the creator. Not her. Demon. Demons want to believe that I'm female because my mom, biological flesh mom, was called Fee. Okay? So when I go into a church, demons want to tell me that I'm supposed to cover my head. I'm not allowed to speak in church because I'm female. No, that's not how it is. Yeah? So, they want to twist this against me. Let me read this again. So, you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. By her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. So that can have, different meanings. I have given her time to repent of her immorality, but she is unwilling. So I will cast her on a bed of suffering, and I will make those who commit adultery with her suffer intensely unless they repent of her ways. I will strike her children dead. So, I'm trying to think, but this is the thing. I'm surrounded by ghosts, evil spirits, who are sexually assaulting me. And when I read that, I'm trying to figure out, what do I do with that? What's this really talking about? And how is this really affecting me? Because it feels like this sounds like this is what's being done to me. By her... Oh, I could kill a fucking demon right now. I mean, that's the thing. I was Jesus. The woman's called Jezebel. How many people have called Jesus, I mean, think about it. The dad of King David, he was called Jesse. Yeah? And people can't decide, what's the name of Jesus? Is it Iesus? Is it Joshua? Is it Yeshua? Is it Jesus? What is it? How many different names are there that I have, or who I was? And I was Jesus, Messiah. Well, that's the thing, I'm surrounded by garbage. Yeah, messy. You know what messy is. If I'm being messy, that's the thing. That's probably why I do it. Because there are a lot of messy people in this world, but they aren't the Messiah. Yeah, I was Jesus. The Messiah. Yeah. So look, this is so annoying. I know this is being used to attack me. I'm pretty sure of it. I mean, this is the thing. The demons have done this to me, right? So they're attacking me. They're accusing me of not being God. They want me to, they're trying to steal. They're conspiring with a world that hates me to just try to destroy me with magic, sex magic, lies, accusing, all that stuff. Trying to steal my light, trying to mimic me, trying to pretend they're me when they're not me. They want to pretend, they want to try to steal my identity and then say that I'm a fraud. Well, they do this kind of stuff to me. They want to assault me. That's what they do. They want to pretend that I'm a woman. The so-called the Church of England. Well, that's the thing. I live in England, right? Jesus is the head of the church, and I live in England. Yeah, England. Yeah, the old word for England is Angoland, right? It means angel land. I mean, in German, The word for angel is engel. Engel. So this is the thing, you know. And Britain, it means rules with God. So the so-called the Church of England, they're evil. It's, you know, it's not me. But then the demons, that's what they do. They call me nuts. They say that they want to pretend that my name is actually nuts. I'm the inverse of everything, you see. They want me to, I mean, that's the thing. What does inverse mean? Well, what's a verse? Yeah, I'm indoors, I'm reading verses to you. Yeah, is it the inverse of what I'm saying, or is it the verse of what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Babble, witchcraft, word magic, demons trying to twist it all, pretend it's something. It's, you know, I tell you the truth, and the demons want to try and pretend I'm saying something completely different. That's how demons do. That's what they do. I mean, this is the thing. If you have, if there's a woman leading in a church, right? It's a place. It's called a church. People call it a church. It's not really a church. It's a church in name only. But if a woman's in there and she's leading, right? She's supposed to be the bishop or the reverend or the pastor or whatever, right? I mean, she shouldn't be there. I mean, clearly, if they can't even get that right, if they can't even understand, if a place calls themselves a church and they can't even get that bit right, they don't even know that a woman shouldn't be leading there, then what else are they teaching? What else have they got wrong? Well, lots of things, actually. I mean, how many churches have got rainbow flags outside of them? They're pro-LGBT and all that stuff. I mean, the thing is that I'm God. People were told, put God first. But if you're, for that's the thing, people who call themselves LGBT, well, it would seem that they've put their sexuality before God. They think their sexuality is what's more important than God. That's the thing. They didn't repent. They didn't ask for forgiveness. They didn't, they want to argue with God. And people think that they can sleep around and then they can go down to their local church and pretend like they're not a sinner. That's what people do. They want to live the life they want to live, and they want to pretend that God is okay with it. Yeah, that's what people call a church these days. Okay, that is unacceptable. That is not putting God first. That is those are people who put themselves first. And then they want God to support them in what they want God to support what they deem appropriate. They think they can lean on their own understanding and they can make their own decisions. That is not how it works. You see how it works? So when a demon says that my name is not, and I say, that is not how it works. Twisting my words, trying to pretend that I was, they're always trying to invert what I say. That's the thing. They want to flip it upside down every fucking time. That's what demons do. They want it flipped upside down, back to front, inside out. And people conspire with them because they're evil and stupid. Look at the world. It's a clown show. People, they want to say that God supports. I mean, look at Kanye West. I mean, does anyone believe that God loves him? I mean, what a freak. What a crazy piece of shit he is. I mean, this is the thing, it says, I will cast her on a bed of suffering. Well, this is the thing. The word will is a very tricky word, right? Because if you, so that, you would read that as, well, most people would read that as, I will cast her, as in, in the future, I will cast her, I will throw her on a bed of on a bed of suffering. But will has different meanings. For instance, like if someone dies, they have a will. The will, it means, will also means it's what you intend to, it's what you want to do, like for instance, if I say, is it the will of the people that Keir Starmer is Prime Minister? Is it the will of the people that that migrants come across the sea in dinghies? Is it the will of the people that King Charles is the reigning monarch? Is it the will of the people? You know what I mean? So, let me read this again. So I will. So I will. So that's the other way, if I will someone, so you could read it like this. So if I will, I wish, and it's other people. So am I willing other people? Do you know what I mean? So it can be read like that. So I will. So this, as in, you're intending for another person's will to be cast her on a bed of suffering. So this is how demons try to twist scripture. They try to twist words in that way. They're going to pretend that they will, they think, they want to twist the words so much that they want to try to tell the story that God wants us to destroy him. That's what he asked for. Yeah, look, if you twist the words a specific way, look, God just wants you to murder him. That's what he wants. That's what he asked for. Look, he wants you to put him in a bed of suffering, and he wants you to punish him. He wants you to torture him and harass him and steal his power and his throne in heaven. Yeah, that's what he asked for. It's not. Did you not read that? It's not. Did you read it differently? Did he? Oh well, that must be wrong. That's how demons work. Okay. The truth is not in them. They do not. I mean, that's they will twist everything in every way imaginable to try to get what they want. The reason Jesus said that the laws of Moses were a problem, it wasn't necessarily that the laws of Moses were the problem. It's the people. It was the people that were the problem, because most people did not follow the spirit of the law. They used word twisting to cheat. They would cheat. You see, because when there's a list, when there's a list of things written in words that can be twisted in so many different ways, people don't do it properly. People cheat. People don't follow the spirit of it. They're not doing it properly. So this is why Jesus said, the most important thing is love. Okay? That's why it was reduced to love. You either love God or you don't. So, because humans are, well, man and woman, are witches and wizards. That's the problem. I mean, imagine, imagine someone who's lost at sea, and they don't have anything to drink, or they start getting really thirsty. So they think it's a good idea to drink the seawater. It might feel, they might feel like, they might feel better for drinking it for a little while, but then they start to get really sick, and it's very bad for them. Well, that's basically what the world is doing to me. Like I'm the seawater, and they think trying to drink me is a good idea, but it will kill them. They'll die as a result of their stupidity, of their sins. They're doing what's wrong, something that they shouldn't do, that they've been told not to do, but they do it anyway because they're evil. Okay? What they do leads to their death and other people's death. They are on the path to destruction. They should know better, but they don't. Well, they know better, but they choose not to. They choose to do the dumb thing. They choose to do the evil thing. So, they were warned. They've had thousands of years to figure this out. And I am very tired of explaining. It's been painful for me to have to make all these videos and explain it again and again and again and again and again, but ultimately at some point I think probably people are going to have to suffer through listening to all of this again and again and again and again and again. Yeah, people are going to have to watch this and learn about it again and again and again and again and again and again and again, so they don't forget. Okay? As if they're still alive at that point, of course. They probably won't be. Well, a lot of them will be dead by then, but probably. Yeah, well, a lot of people are going to die. Because, that's the thing. The story about, there was the serpent. I was God. I am God. I told Jesus. I was Jesus. I'm God. I'm the Father. I told Moses, I said, make a bronze serpent, put it on a pole, and if any Israelite gets bitten by a snake, a poisonous snake, they need to look at the snake on the pole. And that's how they'll survive. It's, and obviously I was Jesus Christ. I was crucified. Yeah? So, people have to pay attention to me. People have to hear who I am. People who ignore me are very likely to get destroyed. Okay? I mean, Christians have Jesus Christ. So they're okay, but, they'll be fine. But everybody else is in a lot of trouble. See, the thing is, the ghost of Moses, I'm pretty sure it's him who's behind me. He's screwing me. Or nailing me, some may say. Turning the screw. Turning the screw, huh? Screw. What was it? Oh, yeah. The word anal. The word anal can mean, when I was younger, I used to describe myself as anal about certain things. I like things done in a certain way. And so there's that meaning that anal has. If someone wants things to be done in a very specific way, they're described as being anal. So in that sense, demons want to basically say that God is anal. Because God has asked for things to be done in a very specific way, so he must be anal. Yeah, there's another thing I've pointed out now. I should have thought of that before, shouldn't I? Yeah. Sodom and Egypt. Sodom, anal. Egypt, nuts. Not. Bondage. Yeah. I absolutely hate Egypt and Sodom. Well, that's the thing, it says, Jesus was crucified in that great city, figuratively called Sodom and Egypt. Sodom is anal. Egypt is bondage, or nuts. Not. So, have I said enough here? I think I probably have. Breaking news. Channel 4 stars held captive in Iran shared haunting post about ignoring advice to travel to country as we believe that most people are good, as desperate families say they are in distressing situation. So this is the thing, there are stupid people. They want to believe that most people on planet Earth are good people. But I'll tell you that probably 99% of people on this planet are actually evil. In different ways. Okay? Because they don't love me. They don't love God. They don't love Jesus Christ. So, that's the problem. I mean, there's loads of Catholics. Oh yeah, but who do they love? They love Mary. Yeah, and then there's the so-called the Church of England. They call it the Mother Church. Yeah. They are frauds. They are going to hell. They're going to the lake of fire. The Church of England is going into the lake of fire. That's how bad they are. That's how it's going to be. And it's the same with the Catholics. Okay? They believe false teachings. They teach false things. They are liars. Tied the knot. Tied the knot. It talks about in Revelation chapter 10, it talks about another mighty angel came down, robed in a cloud, with a rainbow upon his head. And he stands with his right foot in the sea and his left foot on the land. And he says, there will be no more delay. But what do you find there, right? So the land ends where the water starts. And then, at the seaside, you have the waves. They're coming in, they're going out, they're coming in, they're going out. It's the tide. Tied the knot. tied the knot. Hey, you remember a couple of years ago, there were all those kids eating Tide Pods. Remember those Tide Pods? Yeah. What a dumb thing to do. Oof. I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? Because when I was younger, I did all kinds of drugs. You know, I'd like go out sometimes. You know, I remember one night I went out, I had, a guy gave me home-brewed wine that he'd made at home. I was drinking that. I must have had ketamine, MDMA, I think I had a serotonin pill as well, which was a really stupid thing, because that's the thing, serotonin pills mixed with MDMA or ecstasy is a very, very stupid thing to do, by the way. Don't ever do that. And I think I had, you know, I had a can of Relentless or Red Bull. You know, I had like a big energy drink. I had painkillers. I was drinking booze. I mean, and I was smoking weed as well. Flipping it. Yeah, the cocktail of drugs. Not a wise move. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, you know. People who do drugs like that, well, you know, quite often they'll mix all kinds of stuff together. And if you're not, you know, if you're not careful, it could be very dangerous. It could be very dangerous. I remember waking up after that night. I think it was that night. I woke up the next day, well, in the middle of the night, and I had blurry vision in my right eye. So, you know, I felt like I'd hurt my eye. But I think what happened was because I think, and strangely, it happened to my flesh mum as well. It happened to her, and it happened to her when she was doing ketamine. I think what it is basically it's ketamine that's gone through the nose and it's got into the eyeball. And yeah, it takes a while for it to clear, but flipping hurts, I tell you. Ouch. Not something you want to do. And the time when I mixed I had serotonin pills with ecstasy. It was actually an Australian guy who gave me the serotonin, but he had them and he gave them to me, and I tried them and I accidentally mixed it with ecstasy, and I remember having the sweats for about 3 or 4 days. I was in a cold sweat for days, and whew, yeah, didn't do that again. Nope. I took a lot of risks in my life, I'll tell you that. A lot of risks. It's, well, the fact is I'm God. You know, I'm a walking, talking miracle. Yeah, that's what I am. Don't try this at home, kids. That's my advice. Follow Jesus. No, that's what I would advise. That's a good idea. But copying me, no, don't do that. That's a stupid idea, that is. See, yeah, that's the thing, right? Because, you know, obviously I told man he can't be like me. You know, he has to be like Jesus, who I was in the past. Okay? So, you know, I expect man and woman to follow, to be like Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean, you know, like him and then not do as him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could like someone but not try to be like them. Well, no, I mean, you know, do as, you know, follow in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. Do actually, you know, learn how to be the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, be that in a sense. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing, because I was Jesus Christ. I like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I love Jesus Christ. I was Jesus Christ. I've read about Jesus Christ. I read about who I was. I learned about Jesus Christ before I knew I was him. That's the thing. I loved God before I found out I am God. So this is the thing, I ask people, and that's the thing, I get to do what I want. If I want to do a bunch of crazy stuff, if I want to have sex with, say, 10 women in one day, well, I'm God, I can do that. I'm Father. So if I want to do that, then that's my choice. I don't have to restrict myself from doing anything. If I choose to do something, I'll do it. But people aren't meant to copy me. But people want to do that. People want to do what I should be doing. People want to have lives where they sleep around, do drugs and party, and they're proud, they're pride-filled people. They want that when they shouldn't have that. They should have put God first. But instead they want to put me last. And the thing is, I've asked man to have a relationship with me through Jesus Christ. Okay? Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, those who love me through Jesus Christ, those who have done that, and that's the thing, because obviously, people were told, do not judge. And obviously, a lot of Christians, a lot of so-called Christians would look at me and they would judge me. They'd be like, oh, he's a junkie, or he was a junkie, he's crazy, he's this, he's that, he's blah, blah, he swears too much, or whatever, right? Well, ultimately, I'm kind of like a test for people, really, because people aren't supposed to judge, so, yeah. I mean, people were warned, yeah, for many reasons. But ultimately, those who love me through Jesus Christ, well, they will be rewarded. How they're going to be rewarded? I wish I could trust people. I wish I could trust people to be good people. I wish I could trust people to do what's right. I wish I could trust people not to attack me with witchcraft. I wish I could trust people to be good and decent and loving people. It's kind of like, when you have a pet dog, right? If you have a dog, you have to train the dog. You have to potty train. You have to, well, not potty train, but you have to house train the dog. You have to train the dog, not to chew the cables. You got to train the dog to not make a mess, not tear the sofa to shreds. You got to train the dog to go outside to do its pooing and peeing, right? And when you take the dog to the park, you want to let that dog off the leash. You want to let it off the leash and let it run around, and you want to play with it, and you want to, you don't want the dog running out in the road and having an accident. You don't want the dog attacking someone else's dog or attacking somebody. You want the dog to understand how to behave and and listen to your commands, right? And that's kind of like and that's the thing. I feel like with man, I've asked man and woman to love me through Jesus Christ, and I kind of feel like I'm a guy walking through the park with a dog on a leash, and I'm afraid to let I want to let the dog off the leash. I want to let the dog off the leash. I want the dog to have fun. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how things will turn out. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I wish that I could give man more freedom. A man, if a man loves me and I love him, if man and woman love me through Jesus Christ, well, it's my wish to want to give them more freedom and happiness and, and things. I want them to be happy. I want them to be healthy. I want them to be, and still have a good relationship. But how's that all going to work? I don't know yet. I guess I'm very curious. I'm very curious about that. I wish I knew all the answers, but I don't know all the answers yet. So I guess I'll find out when I find out. Probably the same time as, well, anyways. But then again, it's, that's the thing, because of the fall, because of Adam and Eve and what they did, that's the thing, man and woman, their standard operating, the way they are, the way that man is and woman is, right? They want, it's normal, it's they are born and they grow up thinking that they're me. They think they're God. It's only after learning the truth through Jesus Christ that, they're meant to deny themselves and put God first. That's how things get corrected. Okay, that's how it's supposed to. That's how I want it to be. Okay, I want people to deny themselves. In other words, tell themselves they're not God. They need to tell themselves. They need to humble themselves, right? And say that God is great. God is the best. And God deserves love. And to walk that path of love, loving God. And loving God's children. Okay? Spreading the word. It's trying to save people. So, ultimately, the most important thing is that people realize that I am God and I am first. I am the creator. I am the greatest. I am the best. I am, I am the truth. I am the light. And there is nobody else who can replace me. People need to understand that. That's the most important thing. As long as people understand that and acknowledge that, then that's the most important thing. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, like I said, those who love me through Jesus Christ will be rewarded with eternal life and with treasures. What those treasures are, I couldn't possibly say yet, but because I don't know. But they won't be disappointed. They won't be disappointed. Or at least I hope not. But it is my wish to make those I love happy. Okay? It's my wish to make them happy. I make them happy. They make me happy. We're all happy together. It's not my wish to be the happy one while everyone else is miserable. That's not how I want things to be. You know, I'm not that kind of a person. You know, people who I hate, I wish them to be miserable, yeah. Because they hate me. And, well, I want them to get what they deserve. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about justice. You know, I've waited a long time. I've waited a long, long time. It's starting to get dark now. It's 12 minutes past 5 in the afternoon. I really need to go for a drive. So, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I don't know. But I could... Yeah, I'll have to figure something out, I guess. Still, I haven't eaten my breakfast, lunch. It's dinner time. Almost. Still got my chocolate twists and my salted caramel brownie and my caramel waffles, my chewy waffles, and my bottle of Coke. So, I'm very tired of waiting for justice. I'm very tired of explaining myself and never getting someone who wants to really listen to me. But I don't stop. I keep going no matter what. Because I'm on a path to where I want to go. And I will get there when I get there. That I know. So, sometimes I feel lost. Sometimes I feel like I don't know where I'm going, but you know, anyone who goes on a long journey, you know, if you walk 1,000 miles or 10,000 miles, I mean, there are going to be times where you feel like you're lost. You don't know if you've gone the right way, or, you know, maybe you should have taken a different path, or whatever, right? You know, I mean, that's, I have all those problems as well, you know, like, you know, I sometimes ask myself, I sometimes think to myself, am I God? Am I really God? You know, like, I do. Sometimes I do. I mean, last night I was thinking to myself, like, you know, I'm wondering to myself, like, I mean, what if God is really trying to make an example of me? Maybe God has chosen me out of everyone else on planet Earth to make an example of. And everyone else is being used. You know, the world is, I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, I feel like, you know, imagine a man, he walks into a swamp, and he comes out the other side of the swamp, and he's covered in leeches from head to toe, and they're draining him of his blood, and he feels tired, he feels sick, he feels drained. And that's how I feel. I feel drained. You know, the world is sucking my blood, draining me of my life essence. And, you know, and I've got to stop, I've got to pull the leeches off one by one until there are none left. You know, and that's basically all I do. You know, I'm basically just trying to get rid of the leeches. It's interesting. You seen that band? There's that band, Killswitch Engage. You know, the front man, the original front man. His name is Jesse Leach. It's interesting. I saw that band in Brighton when I was a teenager. I saw them listed. They were going to play at a venue that I used to go to. It was called Concord 2. It used to be a bomb shelter during World War II, I think. It's on the seafront in Brighton. And I used to go there for heavy metal gigs, and I even went there for, you know, dance music as well, DJs. But anyway, I actually met the band. I met them outside Burger King. I didn't know what they looked like, but I ran into them and they're like, "Hey man," and I was wearing I was probably wearing like a Limp Bizkit hoodie or something. I was wearing a hoodie. They could obviously tell that I was I was into heavy metal music. Probably they probably had that thought when they saw me, so they said hello, and I was like, "Oh, hey guys," and off they went. And then I realised later on that that's who they were. But anyway, the front man, you know, because the thing is, the front man changed. You know, I saw them at the gig, and I saw Jesse Leach as the front man, and he was singing, and I had their first album, which is called Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing. And after that album, they changed to another singer, another frontman, a black guy called Howard Jones. I never saw him play live, so I was never, you know. So yeah, Jesse Leach, very interesting name, huh? It's a really weird name actually, because I remember one night I was in Concord 2. Now that's the thing, because, you know, obviously in a lot of Bibles, at the back of the Bible is the concordance, right? Concord dance, and that's the thing. I used to go to Concord 2 to dance, you know, for, you know, when they had drum and bass. Sometimes I went, I think house music and all kinds of DJs, right? I've been there for all different genres of music, but I remember there was a barmaid there, and I asked her, "Is your name Jessie Morris?" Because and she was like, "No." She reminded me of a girl I went to school with, that I had a crush on, right? and so I got talking to her later on, and I told her who I thought she was, but she wasn't, right? And then I went clubbing to another club. I went to Audio, which was my favourite club back then, Audio, and I saw her there, and, you know, it was like, well, she was being very cozy with me, so I thought, you know, she was trying to get with me, right? And there was another woman who was at that club. That woman was such a hoe. She was really skinny, right? And she always used to hang around the DJ booth. Behind the DJ booth, there's like a little hidden room, and she always used to hang in there. She always used to be hanging around the DJs and stuff. And I remember that night, there was this girl on the left and the girl on the right, and they were just arguing over me. And a lot. That's the crazy thing, because I felt like I could have gone home with at least one of them, and I went home with neither. So what a shit situation. That's terrible when that happens. When a girl, when you know, when I've had more than one girl fighting over me, and then, you know, you know what I mean, and then I don't seem to pick one. I don't pick either of them, so they both just run away. It's fucking terrible. Anyways. It was probably for the best anyway, because every woman I ever got with has been a curse to me, as far as I can remember. Well, they have. That's the thing, right? I mean, that's the thing. The reason women are really attracted to me the only reason that women will ever wanting to be with me is because I'm God. And they wanted to get my power. That was it. They wanted to get with me because they wanted my power so they could run away with it and pretend that they're me. They're demons. So, unless that woman acknowledges that I'm God before she gets with me, then I ain't doing it. It ain't fucking happening, I'm telling you. Because it becomes a curse to me otherwise. It's the same with people and friends and any kind of relationship. I can't have a relationship with anybody on false terms. If they don't know that I'm God, then it's on false terms. And then I can't do anything with them. That's why I stay away from people, because no one believes me. And if no one believes me that I'm God, then I can't have a relationship with anybody in person. I can't go to the pub with them. I can't hang out with them. I can't invite them around my house. I can't go around their house. I can't, I can't do any of that. My life has become extremely difficult. It's very awkward. And I'm very tired of it. So, like I said, I need to make decisions. I need to get organized. And I want to do something else. I really want to do something else. I have a computer. I spent £5,000 making that computer. I built it. And I haven't switched it on for more than a year. It's been on standby for more than a year. And I need to start using it again. So, be interesting to see what the headlines are on the day I boot up my other computer. I've been using a Raspberry Pi for well over a year now. So, but the thing is, my computer, I hear that, I think it's got an Intel processor in it. I think it's a 13700 processor, or is it a 13900? I can't remember. But apparently, there have been some problems with that processor. Not my one, but that's the thing, because I turned it off, right? And that's the thing, because of Magic, all kinds of people are having all kinds of problems. That happens quite a lot, actually, with technology. Like, people, when they buy the same technology as me, quite often they start experiencing all kinds of problems. So I'm hoping that's what's going to be the case. But and I'm not talking about computer case, right? So I need to. Apparently, it's got updates, so it sort of reduces the power. It reduces the power to the processor. So I need to fix that. I need to sort all that out. I've got to do all kinds of updates. I've got a fan that stopped working, so I need to put another fan in there, or just get rid of it. I've got so many fans in there that I've got an RTX 4090 in there as well. So yeah, it's a nice computer, but it definitely needs a lot of my time to get it sorted. And obviously it uses a lot more electricity than my Raspberry Pi. So I'll expect my electricity bills to go up quite a bit, no doubt. Haven't played games for ages. I've got so many. I must have I wouldn't be surprised if I got 100 games that I've got so many games I've never even played. I've got so many games that I've bought so many games that I've never even played, or In fact, I've got a Steam Deck down there. It's just totally covered in dust. I didn't even bother to put it in the case properly, so it's just completely covered in thick dust. It's absolutely gross. So you know, I really need to get my life organized. Yeah. I mean, if I wanted to, you know what I mean, I could record myself playing games and upload videos of me playing computer games if I wanted to. Why would I want to? I don't know. I might get more viewers. I might get more viewers that way who want to argue with me about who God is. Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I was going to record me playing games, it would probably be Street Fighter 6. It's Tekken 8. Tekken 8's out. I don't own that game yet. I'd quite like to try it. And what else is there? There's other fighting games. And maybe I could play some single player games. I've always wanted to complete Elder Scrolls Skyrim. So maybe I could do that. That would be fun. Anything else? I don't know. But yeah, I might do that. Maybe Cyberpunk. Could play some Cyberpunk. I'm also thinking maybe I should get a virtual reality headset. I don't know. I might do. I suppose I got the money for it, so I could do. I've never tried virtual reality properly. I haven't tried any of the new ones, so I'm sure I'd really enjoy it. But I need to get my computer sorted so it's running at its best, so I can do all these things. Anyways, so I shall end the video here. My battery is very low on my phone, and yeah, so I'll leave it there. So until next time.